It is well known that the dictator regime many part of the world, Belarus, Cambodia, Hungary, Nicaragua, Mali, Myanmar, Chad, Guinea, Sudan, Burkina Faso, Niger, Congo, Gabon, Russia, North Korea, so on. To hold their illegitimate power for an prolonged period has created kleptocracy system instead of democracy, which forms a government where some politicians, businessmen, and bureaucrats, those in power, exploit public resources and institutions for their own personal benefits and enrichment. A country ruled by thieves, where bribery and corruption become systemic, and the state apparatuses are used as a tool for personal gain and lavish livelihood. Like many other fascist regimes in the world, the ousted in India, Bangladesh dictator regime Sheikh Hasina, family members and her allies, has ruled the country without people's vote for 1.5 decades. The regime has patronized mass bribery to its perpetrators to continue the illegitimate government and retain power for a prolonged period by mass bribery, corruption and human rights violation, and transferred billions of dollars to foreign countries. In the Bangladesh and local community, it is well-established news that now Canada becomes the safe haven of the Bangladesh escaped autocratic regime kleptocrats and illicit assets owners. Mainly, these illicit asset owners have been illegally money laundering billions of dollars, dirty money of Bangladesh poor people assets in Canada. A Bangladesh government committee estimated that $234 billion was siphoned off from Bangladesh between 2009 and 2023, mainly in USA, UK, UAE, Canada, Singapore, India, and Caribbean County. The 10 top business groups were committed to money laundering: Alam Group, Beximco Group, Summit Group, Bashunhara Group, Gemcon Group, Orion Group, Navi Group, Seichter Group, and Aramit Group. In 2022, two organizations of Norway and the United States has reported government officials of the fascist regime of Bangladesh. 398 corrupt government officials, political leaders, and businessmen illegally laundered hundreds of millions of dollars and purchased 641 real estate properties in UAE on November 18, 2020. Dhaka Reporters Unity Drew News published that 28 politicians, government officials and businessmen have siphoned illicit assets to Canada. In 2023, published that Bangladeshi bureaucrats, Ladas, and businessmen has bought about 252 houses in USA by money laundered. Many corrupt Bangladeshi businessmen, Ladas, and bureaucrats have bought luxurious real estate assets in many parts of the Canadian provinces and have been spending billions of dollars laundered out of Bangladesh. Many have managed to take the opportunity of the Canada and Western investor category immigration program as well as taxation benefits. The kleptocrats, illicit, and money launderers of Bangladesh have been investing in the Canada real estates in their family members. Names are anonymously or in other people's names, mainly the wives and children of Bangladeshi bank defaulters. And corrupt millionaires live in those multi-millionaires' homes in an area in the GTA, Quebec, Alberta, Vancouver, and other cities, while the husband has been doing all kinds of human rights violation, to corruption, abuse of power, and other illegal activities in Bangladesh. The wives and children of Bangladeshi millionaires has been live in these lavish homes in an area and cities and farms. And the husbands of the perpetrators of the autocratic regime come to stay with them every 3 months. The kleptocrats and bank defaulters have created a nexus of crimes here in Canada, as same as in Bangladesh. Now the Bangladesh community has been seeing surprisingly new millionaires in the society. This type of organized crime is a huge threat to the Canada social and economic sector. Nor only that, in the Bangladesh society, Canada's image went down by those organized criminals. People of Bangladesh have been asking how Canadian authorities tolerate this corruption and organized financial crimes. Well, news that some people working with money exchange agency, real estate sales agents, tax agents, law firms, real estate brokerage, and real estate companies were involved in buying those properties anonymously or in other people's names. Everything was done organized. Financial crime by an organized group. Only a proper investigation will bring out the truth, as you know. The escaped Bangladesh Awami League Sheikh Hasina, dictator and corrupt regime, has been violating severe human rights violations and involved in the mass money laundering as well. Corruption for more than a decade, since 2009, to suppress opposition and critics. Awami League regime party members and allies has committed about 1,500 enforced disappearances, over 1,000 custodial deaths in prison cases. Also, arbitrarily arrested over 10,000 opponents. In 3 weeks of July 2024, monsoon student and public revolution against the fascist and corrupt regime Awami League party members and law enforcement agencies has killed about 2,000 plus people and over 30,000 plus become inhumane, disabled by bullets, shot, seriously injured, or permanently disabled. Several thousand lost their eyes, hands, and legs. Now disabled students in public has been living with severe trauma and mental disorders, also not getting appropriate medical treatment and rehabilitation for their inhumane condition. Human Rights Commission facts-finding team reported on February 2025, the Thialso found the truth of the allegations of crime against humanity by the perpetrators of the escaped Sheikh Hasina regime. Recently, Bangladesh government has issued a Gazette notification on May 12, 2025 that Bangladesh Awami League Inc. affiliated organizations has been designated as a terrorist organization and ban its all activities in home and abroad. Present the designated terrorist and banned Bangladesh Awami League and their party members have opened their organization office in Toronto, Canada, and patronizing as well as participating in all money laundering and transnational repression activities against diasporas. This has raised serious questions and security threats into the local community. The Canadian government needs to take urgent measures to hold accountable the organized criminals to bring to justice. Bangladesh Awami League party members in law enforcement agency members has committed crimes according to the Nuremberg trial. 1946 verdict. Disobey to unlawful superior orders and Rome Statute. ICC 1998 Article 7 Crime against humanity. Attacked. Directed against the civilian population, torture, inhumane treatment. Abduction and persecutions. Article 8 War crime and crime of aggression. To hold accountable the perpetrators, Canadian people, Government of Canada, and international community to crack down the Bangladesh money launderers and illicit asset owners. Organized criminal who has been undermining democracy and human rights, as well to hold accountable the perpetrators, identify, freeze, and recover poor people's stolen assets under the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. OECD Convention on Combating Bribery of Foreign Public Officials in International Business Transactions, 1997 to 2021. The Global Fragility Act, 2019, U.S. Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, and the Enablers Act. 2022, United Nations Convention Against Corruption, 2003 UNCAC, UK's Bribery Act 2010, EU Anti-Corruption Framework 2022, and Article 67, 83, and 325 of TFEU. Canada Corruption of Foreign Public Officials Act, 1998, Bill S-14. As well implementation of the 10th session of the Conference of the States Parties, COSP 102, the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, in Atlanta.